and welcome. My name's Hannah, and in today's video I'm going to be doing a full face of makeup that I've forgotten about. I'm going to be looking at items I've had in my collection for a long time but haven't really used, things that maybe are hidden gems or I might have to just get rid of. So sit back, relax, and let's get into the video. Okay, so you'll probably notice I'm in a new location. That is because I recently moved, so I'm hoping that this setup works. I'll probably be figuring it out over the next couple of videos, so please bear with me. Moving into the makeup products though, I have quite a few things, and I think what I'm going to do is start with the eyes, and the two products that I picked out for the eyes are the E.L.F. Rose Gold Sunset Palette and this L'Oreal Le Col Super Liner in the shade Pure Espresso. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do first is swatch the colours in the E.L.F. palette just to see what we're working with. So let's swatch this orangey one, this purple one, this gold one, and this brown one. I mean, I've hardly dipped into this at all. Okay, so that is what the shades look like swatched, and they're looking really nice actually, to be fair. So I think what I'm gonna do, let's do some purples today. So I think what I'm gonna do is go in with this pinky purple color here and just put that all over the crease with a big fluffy brush. It's nice and pigmented so far, which is great. It is coming off a little bit more orange than pink though. I think next what I'm gonna do is go in with this darker shade here. Actually, maybe this shade here, just put that on the outer corner. Not getting a huge amount of distinction between the colors. They are just kind of blending together. I'm gonna grab a clean fluffy brush and just go over the edges of that. Okay, and then I think I'm just gonna go in with my finger with this purpley shimmer shade here and put that over the lid. Again, it's coming off a little bit warmer on the eye, but I guess it is a rose gold palette, so that's to be expected. Clean fluffy brush again. I think I want to deepen that outer corner just a little bit more, so I'm going to take this densely packed brush and just go into the very darkest color in this palette and just pop that on the outer corner. So this one here. Okay, I'm just going to clean up the edge here with makeup wipe and go into eyeliner. So as I said, this is the L'Oreal Paris Le Col Super Liner in the shade Pure Espresso, and this is what it looks like on the back of my hand. Very, very dark brown, almost black. And I'm just gonna use this plastic thing, the stuff that protects your eyeshadows when you first get them. And I'm just gonna use this to create a straight line because I'm terrible at eyeliner. So I'm gonna line that up to the edge of my eyebrow, and I'm just gonna create a tiny, tiny flick. And then I'm gonna just clean that up. So that's not coming off as pigmented on the eye, and it is taking a little bit of pressure to put that on, to be honest. I'm just gonna sharpen that up a tiny bit more. Now maybe it needs warming up on the back of my hand first. Let's do that and see if it makes a difference. Yeah, you know what? I don't like this. This takes too much pressure on the eye to actually get a decent color payoff. It looks very, very deep on the back of my hand, but on the eyes it's looking a little bit faded, which I'm not the biggest fan of. I used a different eyeliner yesterday, which was the, let me go find this other eyeliner. Okay, so the liner I used yesterday is the Maybelline New York Tattoo Liner Smoky Gel Eye Pencil. I can't find the shade on here, but this is the kind of deep brown one. And this is retractable, first of all, which I really enjoy. It is super creamy. Sorry, let me put that on. And it comes off this color on the eyelid. Plus it's got a little smudging brush on the end and, smudging brush on the end, and it comes with a little detachable sharpener as well. So I much prefer this to this L'Oreal one. Also with the E.L.F eyeshadows, I've noticed on this eye in particular, when I blended out the shimmer shade, it kind of just blended it away. So I'm gonna add a little bit more. In terms of eyeshadow formulas, I don't think this is my favorite. E.L.F has some really lovely eyeshadows. I just don't think this is one of their better ones, to be honest. Yeah, I don't think I would reach for this over some of my other E.L.F palettes. Moving on to the face, I picked up a primer that I haven't used in ages. This is the NYX Bear With Me Radiant Perfecting Primer, and I'm just gonna put this all over the face. I remember liking this, but then I haven't really reached for it since. It's got a little bit of shimmer in there, although it doesn't look glittery, which is great. Feels nice and hydrating, and it has definitely illuminated the skin. As I said, it has definitely illuminated, it feels hydrating, doesn't feel too greasy, which is good. It's got a slight tackiness to it, which is good for a primer because it helps stick the foundation to your face. So that's really nice. I think this is one of those primers where there's a certain time and place that you will want to use it. It's probably not for every day, but yeah, it's really nice. I'm looking at the eyeshadow again, and it just isn't very pigmented. It's not impressing me as much as E.L.F shadows usually do. Okay, so for concealer and foundation, I'm going to be using the Rimmel Match Perfection Invisible Coverage Foundation and the Match Perfection Skin Tone Adapting Concealer. This is in the shade 1 Fair Porcelain, and this is in the shade 5 Ivory. I remember loving these and using these all the time, so I think there's just been so many new foundation releases and concealer releases that I haven't gone back to this, but I remember this being a really great staple in my collection. So number one, I hope it's not gone off, and number two, I hope it's just as good as I remember. Okay, so there is pumped out on the hand, it's quite thick. It does look lovely. I'm just gonna dot this on the face and then blend it out with my beauty sponge. Lighter coverage than I remember. That's not a bad thing. That's looking more light coverage with the sponge. I think I'm going to go in with another layer just to see how buildable it is, but it is looking very nice. That illuminating primer is definitely shining through. It does look very skin-like, very smooth. It's building up nicely. Does feel quite light on the skin, although I can tell that I am wearing makeup, but it is very lightweight, which is lovely. Although, to be fair, I now have foundations in my collection that I think I would pick up over this. It's still a really great staple though, if you are looking for a good everyday foundation. This is really, really nice, very skin-like. I'm gonna just give a close-up of the skin so you can see what that looks like. And we're going to go in with the concealer. So as I said, this is the Rimmel Match Perfection Skin Tone Adapting Concealer in Ivory, and it comes with a little brush tip applicator. So this is what it looks like on the skin. Looks very nice. I'm going to put this on a few of my spots as well. So here, here, and under the eyes. And I'm just going to let that sit for a second because you get a little bit more coverage. And while that's happening, I'm just going to go in with the Essence Make Me Brow Eyebrow Gel Mascara. This is in the shade Blondie Brows, and I like this. I know I like this, but I have been favouring the E.L.F Wow Brow a little bit more than this, so I didn't really have any other brow products in my collection that I wanted to give another go. Yeah, I think I still prefer the Wow Brow, but this is a really nice option as well. Okay, so I'm just gonna start blending this out with my sponge. I'm gonna start with the under eyes. That is really nice. I really like that. I don't know why I stopped using this concealer. Probably more of a medium coverage rather than full, but it's looking really nice, really skin-like. Sinks in with the foundation really nicely. Yeah, like that's covering up that spot nicely. I mean, my spots weren't super obvious to begin with, but that's nice. Yeah, I need to dig that out more. That's nice. Next up, I have some cream blushes from Pixi. So this is the Pixi and Louise Rowe Blush Cream Rouge palette. This is lip and blush stuff. I picked this up a little while ago, but I haven't really reached for it. It's got loads of amazing colors in it. It's a great all-encompassing palette, but again, I just haven't really reached for it that much. So I am going to be putting this on first because I have a powder, bronzer and highlighter to put on afterwards. Let's do a nice kind of pinky orangey blush. So I'm thinking maybe this one here. So let me grab that on my finger and just pop it on the back of my hand so you can see. Yeah, that one will do nicely. I think I just want to put this on with my fingers rather than a brush, because the pans, I think this is also another reason that I haven't reached for this, is the pans are quite small, which means getting a brush in here is quite difficult. Now I know that when I touch my face, it goes very red. So this is probably less intense than it looks right now, and I'm going to put another layer on, and I hope it's not a mistake, because we are going to put powder on top of this as well. Okay, so that is the blush all blended in. It is actually looking really nice. I think it's one of those products I'm going to have to play with a little bit more, and I should definitely dig out a little bit more. I don't know though, that pigment, I've done 2 layers over here, and you can see now that the redness on my face has calmed down a bit, it's not looking that intense. Let's try another layer. Let's leave that there, and then maybe if we need to, we can try and put it on top of the powder. So for powder, I have 2 different kinds. I have the Juvia's Place I Am Magic setting powder in the shade White Sands, which I think I'm going to use for under the eyes. And then I also have the No. 7 Translucent Perfect Light Loose Powder. Both of these I tried a couple of times. I remember really liking them, but then haven't picked them up again since. So we're going to give them another go today. I think first up, I'm going to do the Juvia's Place under the eyes. So I'm just tapping out any creases, and I'm going to tap a bit of this into the lid. I'm going to grab this brush here from Spectrum and just do a light layer under the eyes. That's gorgeous. That's stunning. Why haven't I not used that? That is so lovely. It's blurred. It's actually made my fine lines less than on this side. It's added a bit of coverage as well because it's got that slight yellow tint to it and brightened things up. That is gorgeous. That is so good. Juvia's Place, every time I've tried a product from them, has been really lovely. Let me know if you would want a full face of Juvia's Place video, because I would be up for that. Love that. So for the rest of the face, I'm going to use this No. 7 Perfect Light Loose Powder. Bit of that into the lid again. Grab a big fluffy brush. Again, this one's from Spectrum, and I'm just going to put that all over the face. My face has gone very red on this side, and I don't know if it's because it's reacting to something I've used, whether something is out of date. It's very likely. The one thing I will say about both of these powders is they don't have a little like stopper on the top. I don't know if you can see that, which means that the powder does get a little bit everywhere, but it's fine because I've got a towel down. That is looking really nice. It's set everything down. It has mattified a tiny bit, but you can definitely see here and here that there's still glow coming through. It feels like my foundations are not going to go anywhere, which is great. I'm just going to put a bit here. Yeah, that again is a really nice powder. I don't know why I don't use that one more often. Next up, I'm just going to put a little bit of this color and this color under the eyes. Okay, so next up, I'm going to do bronzer, and the bronzer that I'm going to be using is the Essence Hello Good Stuff Matte and Glow Bronzer in the shade Cocoa Cool. So this is what it looks like on the inside. It's got two different colors. You've got a lighter bronzer and a slightly darker bronzer. I think the top one is the glow and the bottom one is the matte, but we'll have to see. So that's the lighter one, and yeah, that looks like the glowy formula. And the top one is the darker color, which looks like more of a matte formula. So I think what I'm going to do is just mix them together and pop that on the cheeks. That is the bronzer on the cheeks. It's looking tiny bit muddy, but it is a nice kind of cooler, lighter color, which I appreciate because I have very fair skin. Slightly glowy. I don't know, it's very difficult to tell because my face is so red underneath, and you know what, I just don't think that blush is there at all, which is very frustrating because I added 3 layers of this on top. Maybe, I don't know, maybe let's try with the beauty sponge, put that on top, give it another go. So again, we're going in with this color here. That seems to be giving more color, which is good. Yeah, I think maybe fingers is not the way to apply this. It has gone over the powder nicely, which is good. It's always good to know. And yeah, I think that extra layer has definitely helped using the beauty sponge. Next up, got the word, highlighter. I'm going to be using the Revlon Skin Light Prismatic Highlighter in the shade Daybreak Glimmer because I have been seeing everyone on TikTok, on YouTube using this, loving this, and I don't know, I was never that enamored with it, so I'm gonna give it another go because everyone seems to love it. So this is what it looks like on the inside, and this is the swatch on the back of my hand. It looks very intense, so we're going to go in very lightly. I'm going to grab this fluffy brush from Spectrum and Katie Jane Hughes. Where I've moved in has a cat, so there is now cat hair on absolutely everything. So if you see cat hair, you know why. It's intense, it's quite gold. To be honest, it's looking a little bit glittery, and that's why I had a problem with it in the first place. It just looked quite glittery. Yeah, so there it is on the cheek on both sides. It is very intense. It's looking a tiny bit glittery, I think, for my tastes, and I just never reach for this, but I know loads of people love it, which is the frustrating thing, because I don't know if it's something that I'm doing wrong or whether this is just not the type of product for me. I'm just going to put that on the inner corner as well and below the brow bone. It's very intense, so if you do like that kind of thing, you would probably like this. Moving on to lip stuff. The products that I wanted to try today were the Physicians Formula Maru Maru Butter Lip Creams. I have 4 shades in these, and I remember bits of the lipstick were coming off while I was applying it because they were just so soft. So let's swatch all 4 colours on the back of my hand. We have Soaking Up the Sun. Yeah, see, they're just so soft, they're almost falling apart. This one doesn't go up and down anymore. I literally have only used these once, trying them on. This one doesn't go up and down anymore because it's kind of broken, and you can see, look, bits of it are coming off the top. Anyway, this one is Brazilian Sunset. Again, used this one time and it just kind of is misshapen now because it is so soft. So that one looks like. We have Brazilian Nuts. This is Pinkini. Looks like that. And I think I'm going to use Pinkini today. They smell nice, and they're definitely very hydrating on the lips. They feel very comfortable on the lips. They're just such a messy formula. Also, I don't think I like this color. I think I'm gonna go for Soaking Up the Sun instead. I don't like this color with this look. See, that is just coming off everywhere. I like that more. So before we put on mascara, I am just going to go over all of this with a setting spray. This is the Flower Seal the Deal Hydrating Setting Spray Dewy Finish. Looks like this. Okay, so that's a nice spray. I think hold it further away from your face if you can, but it's nice, soft, light. It definitely has added a nice glow back onto the skin. It felt very refreshing going on. So I like this. I like this one actually, it's very nice. So the final step is mascara, and I'm gonna be using the L'Oreal Paris Telescopic Extra Black Mascara. I bought this because Steph Toms recommended it, and I remember it being quite a wet formula, which is why I didn't enjoy it as much, but let's give it another go today. While we're waiting for the mascara to dry, update on the setting spray. It is feeling a tiny bit sticky on the skin, just a little bit, but it has added a lovely dew back into the face. It's not overly dewy. I find with setting sprays like the E.L.F coconut setting spray, that can be a little bit too much, but this is like a nice level of dew, and I think the stickiness will go away as it dries into the skin. So the mascara, I think giving it a bit of time to dry out a tiny bit in a good way has helped, definitely. It's made the lashes nice and long and separated. I think it gives more volume than the Sky High mascara, but I think I prefer the Sky High mascara just because it is slightly less clumpy, slightly less wet. It is nice though. I mean, you can see the difference it's made to the lashes. It does look very nice. So this is the finished look using products that I had forgotten about. I'm going to check in at the end of the day, show you how everything is worn, and let you know if I'm going to get rid of anything. So I will see you in a little bit. Okay, so it's been about 6 hours since I first applied the makeup, and first of all, the skin is still looking really, really nice. So the primer, the foundation, the concealer, the setting powders, and the setting spray, all gonna keep. The eyebrows, you know I already like them, so gonna keep those. For the eye stuff, I think you already know how I feel. The eyeliner, absolutely no way, just didn't apply very nicely at all. The eyeshadows, not my favorite from E.L.F, and also, I don't know if you can see, they are creasing so badly by the end of the day, so I'm gonna get rid of those. The blush, actually, when my redness went down, looked really nice, very natural, very blended out, and you can see it's still on my cheeks, so I think I'm gonna have to try that a little bit more because I think it could be really nice. The mascara, I did notice a bit of flaking and smudging under the eyes. I think the top lashes looked great, and I'm gonna try it again with maybe something else on the bottom lashes because the top lashes did look really, really nice. The bronzer, it was okay. I have other bronzers that I like more, so I think I'm gonna get rid of that. The highlighter, you can see, is still on my face and looking really nice. I did like the highlighter. It was very smooth. It lasted a really long time. It's just a bit too metallic for me. If you like that kind of thing, I think you'd really like it, but because it's just not my favorite kind of highlighter, I think I'm gonna get rid of it. And the lip stuff, that wore off almost immediately. I wasn't expecting it to last a very long time, but it lasted way less time than I thought it would, which means you just have to keep reapplying it throughout the day. Plus it's incredibly messy and everything kind of melted the first time I used it, and the sticks broke so you can't push them back down again. I just realistically not going to reach for them over things like my Tarte Maracuja Juicy Lips or the E.L.F Hydrating Lips, so I think I'm going to get rid of them as well. I think that is everything. If you liked this video, then please do give it a thumbs up. If you like me and you want to see more videos from me, then please do hit the subscribe button down below. I hope you're having an amazing day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.